Hi guys! As usual, all the necessary links in the video description and my test system setup details for those monsters also in the video description. During past 2 years, I've made a couple of videos on isolation or dampening, these are two different things, fit for audio equipment. They are available in different types, size and prices and can be used with speakers and audio devices like DACs, amplifiers as well. And Seweryn, one of my viewers, who you can remember more as the guy that bought NHB 268 Black Widow amplifier and borrowed it to me for a test, pointed me to a very interesting devices that he bought from Aliexpress. As he already had them delivered, he asked me if I would like to take a look and listen, and I was like, absolutely yes. So thanks to Seweryn, thank you, I was able to listen to the changes that are introduced to the sound signature of my system, of my reference system, when I used these hockey packs that are clearly inspired by Ultra 6 isolation pads. They are by no means cheap, as one set of 4 of them is $460 and 2 sets make $920, shipping included. I wasn't aware of them earlier, and they had probably slipped under my radar, but the result was that I have 5 or 6 other popular designs ordered right now on their way to me as we speak. But these monsters are the most expensive of the bunch, and in fact, I've paid like $600 for all others combined, 5 or 6 or even 7 sets. We will get back to this once they will arrive here. And for now, let's take a closer look at these steel monsters. So basically, what you are getting in the package is a set of cork pads, small ones and the big ones. You are getting a set of rubber pads, small ones and the big ones. You are getting Allen nuts with Allen keys, because basically the base should be screwed to the pack with the screw that's in the set, as in this guy. And you're getting 4 of them. 4 bases, that's basically just a solid steel base, nothing fancy. And then you are getting something like that. This is basically a CNC machined piece of steel, a cylinder, that has 5 sockets on top of the cylinder and 1 of them at the bottom. They are basically all the same, and let's take a look inside of one of them. Sorry, you'll need Allen key for that. Yeah, it's not very hard to remove those screws, but you have to be very careful about the ceramic balls inside, because they are placed in a specific pattern and it's not a big deal to place them in the same way if you mess something up. But if you will mess something up, you'll have to be sure that you will not lose even one of them. That's the first problem. And the second problem is that you always have to place them bottom up. So if you mess them just a little, you still need to take all of them out and place them all back together. So let's zoom in, I won't be touching that. And yes, we have ceramic balls inside. And the socket on the top is exactly the same as the sockets on the bottom. And let me draw you something, because that's something interesting. Okay, so we have opening, circular opening like that. In the middle of that opening at the bottom, we have a smaller dent when there is 1 ceramic ball residing, small one. Then we will have 4 larger ones placed like that. Then we will have another small one in the middle lying on top of them, on those 4. And then we will have another 4, but this time placed like that as a topmost layer. So basically if that would be a cut, that would be looking like that, or maybe not that small. Oh, they are not balls. No, they're not. And then it would be something like that. So let's take a look again, so you'll be able to understand what I mean. And it's very important not to lose the balls. The smaller ones are in the middle of the pack, and the larger ones are on the sides. Okay, so let's get that guy back together. I have to be very careful for a couple of reasons. The first one is that obviously I do not want to damage or lose anything, because that's not mine. And the second one is I do not want to damage my table. That's just bare steel that I'm sliding on the table. And the whole setting looks like that. The base should be touching the, I don't know, the desk, the shelf that you have your equipment on, or in case of speakers, maybe the floor. And this area will actually be touching your equipment or your speaker. So it's a good idea to use some kind of rubber mat or that included cork mat, so you won't scratch the base of your amplifier or your digital to analog converter. Okay, so I would say that this explains, I hope, the pattern of the balls, and the reason why the sellers of those are stating that the balls are following 1-4-1-4 pattern. The tolerances, and give me a second as I will get that screw back here. The tolerances of on the whole thing are very tight, and this is a really good quality build. Nothing's loose here, and if you take a look at the socket around here, this basically, when it's placed on top of the balls, it's not touching any of the sides, and yet the tolerance is high enough so that the opening, the clearing is, I don't know, 0.1, maybe 0.2 millimeters. And the same goes for the guys on the bottom. As you can see, it's a terrible fingerprint magnet. Before I will get them back to Seweryn, I will have to clean them up. You can change the height of the whole set to level the speakers, if you're using them for speakers, by unscrewing or screwing back the base. So that will allow you to level your speaker. Okay? So, Seweryn bought and borrowed me 2 sets of 4 of them, so I was able to listen to them with my speakers as well as my power amp and DAC. And in short, yes, they do work. That's the short story. The long story is that they make the sound to my ears like slightly V-shaped, because bass gets tighter, more precise, and at the same time treble gets airier and more transparent. So you have the feeling that the sound is slightly V-shaped. But the best change is transparency and airiness. That goes along with better spatial cues, so you feel like the soundstage finally got right focus, like it would be a little bit blurry earlier. That was what I've got when I've tried them with my speakers. When I've tried them with my DAC and my amp, the power amp, the effect was more subtle. It was no longer about perceived V-shaped sound, but it was more about speed and precision, about precise placement of all instruments in the soundstage. Since I was able to pinpoint them better, it was like the soundstage, in a subjective way, would grow due to the more space between instruments. Mind that it wasn't like night and day change. It was more about subtle adjustment of the whole picture, so it suddenly snapped into focus. So yes, they do work. Although they are so expensive that single set can be pricier than some amplifiers or DACs I am reviewing in my channel here. But then again, $460 for a set can be really low if you'll take a look at the local dealer, and you'll see eye-watering €6,000 price tag for a set, for 4 of them. Even second hand, that's like 3,000 euros. So it still makes me wanna cry or scream or both at the same time. With that perspective, $460 for a set suddenly seems like a deal of the life. But make no mistake, that's still almost $1,000 for a single set. In both cases, what you get is CNC steel and something like 60 ceramic balls per piece. So this has to be a meteorite steel and ceramic made from moonbeard samples. Now, jokes aside, are they worth it? And this can be answered by your wallet only. If you'll take a look at the current high-end amplifier prices, and I mean something, let's say, mid-range, starting at $3,000 to $5,000, and speakers, again, nothing fancy, regular speakers at $5,000 to $10,000, then these guys are just a fraction of the price. And they can push your system further up, so if your wallet is deep enough, then they may be very well worth the price. My wallet isn't deep enough yet, I hope. So they are going back to Seweryn. And once again, let's have a loud thank you, Seweryn. But I will take a look at the cheaper sets that I've ordered from Aliexpress. Oh, and one parting thought. Seweryn gave me the link to the store he got this set from. And yes, that happens to be also the cheapest one. So I will link to that. But what I wanted to say here is that if you're going to buy them or think about buying them, make your mind up sooner than later, because devices like that tend to be masked on AliExpress to EU and US buyers soon after my reviews go live. That's the life, I guess. So if you liked this review, you're more than welcome to buy me a beer using PayPal link down below or YouTube super thanks button also down below. Because yes, I know audiophiles are wine and whiskey guys, but I am just a regular beer and beard guy. Thanks for watching, I hope you liked this and have a great day with your gear and with your music. See you next time, guys.